All right, back to the world of Umberto Lenzi with the first out of four movies that he would go on to do with the great Carroll Baker, Orgasmo from 1969, aka Paranoia, which was what it was released as internationally outside of Italy, which gets confusing because his next film with Carroll Baker was the same year, So Sweet, So Perverse. So then the third movie with Carroll Baker in 1970 was titled Paranoia. So they had to change the name of that one because they already had a Paranoia for Orgasmo here. So they changed Paranoia from 1970 to A Quiet Place to Kill. And then the final of the four with Carroll Baker was Knife of Ice, which I did a video on that one. So Orgasmo, two notable things about this movie. One, as I said, it's the first to start the whole four films with Carroll Baker. And two, it was one of the first movies to receive an X rating from the MPAA. Now, this movie sits in a very weird period of time in the late 60s when the Italians were putting out a lot of spy movies and erotic thrillers. I mean, we had Mario Bava doing Jolly already and inventing the genre with The Girl Who Knew Too Much and, of course, Blood and Black Lace. But a lot of the movies that now are looked back at as Jolly were much more of erotic thrillers. Up until Dario Argento's The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, that movie is what really kickstarted the whole giallo boom of the 70s in Italy. So this was right before that. There's not a lot of typical giallo tropes in here. There's no black-gloved killer, there's no stylistic murders, there's no real murder mystery because no one's getting killed. What we have here is Carroll Baker playing Kathryn West, and she ends up moving to Italy in this big ass villa after her husband died in a car accident in the United States and left her $200 million of an estate. She's an alcoholic and takes pills, and then she ends up getting into a relationship with both this guy Peter and his stepsister Eva, and they start to gaslight the shit out of her and drive her crazy, and they're drugging her and pushing more alcohol on her to try to make her lose her mind, not know what's real, so they can end up stealing her inheritance. The movie has a lot in common with Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo, Les Diaboliques, the French movie from 65, I want to say, and Repulsion by Roman Polanski, like with the woman losing her mind in isolation or being driven crazy type premise. I gotta say, it's a good movie. There's a lot of cool camera work, a lot of the counterculture type camera work that you saw in a lot of these movies, like the very quick zoom in and out shots with the music playing, and it looks like an acid trip test, like back with the Grateful Dead. It's got a great score. Nothing too memorable, but it's very good and very beautiful at times. There's a lot of nudity. There's a lot of sexual content. It's a very erotic and sleazy movie. Lenzi has always been a sleazy motherfucker when it comes to his movies. When you take like Bava, Fulci, Sergio Martino, I mean, he sexualizes pretty much everything too. But Lenzi always had like that real sleazy feel to his movies that Argento, Fulci, Bava, Umberto Bava, and other directors in the Italian sphere didn't really stoop to that same level of sleaziness. But there is some good scenes in here. I do like the story. There are a few decent twists, but it's nothing great. It's not an excellent film or anything like that. It also kind of reminds me of Lucio Fulci's, again, Giallo, his first Giallo, but again, it's more of an erotic thriller like this movie, one on top of the other, or perversion story. So I can say this, if you're into psychedelic erotic thrillers from the late 60s, then you might have a much bigger chance actually of liking and enjoying this movie. Or if you're already a Lenzi fan. But if you're a horror movie fan and you're not really into Italian movies or giallo, I don't think there's much that you may enjoy in this. Like if you're just a horror fan and you're looking for scares or kills and gore and stuff, this doesn't have any of it. It really doesn't. So it's a very weird time in Lenzi's career because he just chased trends his entire career. Whatever the popular genre of movies were at the time, that's what Lenzi would be making. He started with the fantasy adventure movies that got real popular after Hercules was a big success. Then he did a lot of spy thrillers after the James Bond movies blew up. He created the whole cannibal craze with Man from Deep River, and he also went on to do more with Cannibal Ferox and Eaten Alive. But he always jumped on whatever the popular trend was at the time. But these four movies with Carroll Baker are very interesting. I don't think I've seen Paranoia or A Quiet Place to Kill. I've seen the other three at this point. But check out Orgasmo, aka Paranoia. There are two different endings, depending on which cut you're watching.